wasn't educated on the situation at hand. So many people could have been harmed, not only financially, but physically, emotionally, spiritually.
So
spiritually? Just be careful what we tweet and we say. We do have freedom of speech, but there can be a lot of negative that comes with that too.
Jesus Christ, man. LeBron, what are you doing, dog? Oh, boy, man. Come on, man. I'm bugging right now, fam. Man, right now you climbing up the ranks of the greatest basketball players of all time, man. You walking that thin line between social justice and social justice warriorism. You know, appreciate the efforts, really do. If ain't nobody else told you, let me be the one to tell you, LeBron. Us here, us regular folk here, we appreciate your contributions. Okay? Basketball wise, brother, I hope you break Kareem's record. You close, you third all time, no need for you to stop. So I hope you get 40,000 career points. And in that manner, you will be considered at least the second greatest player of all time. We all know who the greatest is, right? There'll be no debates about that, right? We could get into that, you know what I mean? So, yeah, but LeBron, did y'all see the tweet he put out about the shooting with the BRYANT girl that the officer had to shoot when she was going to stab the other lady in the middle of that fight? Yeah, man, he put out some bullshit, jumped the gun, and you already know. You already know. They're using this right here. You know what I mean? Right-wing media is using this. Police unions is using this. Now the whole thing, as far as people focused on what happened with Derek Chauvin happened, and why people are marinating on that, you know they're gonna look for something to manufacture. Some type of outrage, just like they did with the fake Asian hate from the black community. Found a few mentally challenged schizophrenic people walking the streets from homeless shelters. Isn't it crazy how, like, out of 7, 8 of these people that it happened with, like 4 or 5 of them lived in homeless shelters? Isn't that strange? All right, I'm getting into a whole nother conversation. But LeBron, come on, man. Yeah, so let me play a little quick. I think I got a news report on it. Let me find this one. I went through a few. This was probably the best one.
Welcome back. LeBron James facing backlash this morning over his tweet responding to the deadly shooting of 16-year-old KHIA BRYANT in Ohio. He initially tweeted a photo of the Ohio officer involved, and he captioned it, "You're next, #accountability," with an hourglass emoji. He later deleted the tweet. He claimed his post was, quote, being used to create more hate. Dagan McDowell, your reaction.
50 million followers. LeBron James has this tweet. Just what he's saying is reprehensible on so many levels. What was he really saying about that police officer who actually saved another young woman's life in that shooting? The shooting, tragic, yes. But the woman who died, the young girl who died, the teenager, had a knife in her hand. And we know that. So he took the tweet down after it received, 40,000 likes? And then he said, I took it down because it's being used to create more hate. Well, he is the person creating hate by tweeting that photo in the first place. Miranda Devine writes about this in the New York Post today, and she said she essentially says he is part of an industry of untouchable influencers in this country who are devoted to racial division. He is.
Oh, cut it out, lady. LeBron James is one of the group of untouchable celebrities who like to stroke the winds of racial animosity. You fucking twit. You know, and I understand the liberal versus conservative divide, and people look at LeBron James like a useful liberal fool. And I get that. But the man made a mistake. His mistake is not equivalent to what these police are out here doing. And LeBron James is not stroking the flames of racial hatred. It's the police shooting unarmed black men that's stroking the flames of racial hatred.
He is. And what you saw across the board with this shooting in Columbus is no one waits for the facts. It's speak first and target the police officer rather than waiting. Benjamin Crump, who represented George Floyd's family in Minneapolis, he came out on Twitter and said that issued an inflammatory lie on Twitter claiming that Bryant the young woman was unarmed. And in fact, the New York Times then edited out the word unarmed initially when they first reported his remarks. Like that, like, again, I just don't understand why people, there's not going to be any accountability for LeBron James. And if it was any of us, no, the repercussions would be lasting for a lifetime.
Oh, boy. Yeah, you see the way she tried to drop that little subliminal right there? She said, well, if it was any one of us, the repercussions would last for a lifetime. So now they want us to cancel Boule LeBron for a lifetime for that one infraction. White supremacy, shut the fuck up. Even when you send your fucking white wenches to do it.
Yeah, that's right. And then you look across the country, Dagan, and you see this violence breaking out even worse than before because of policy. Bob Nardelli, this was all preventable. This is all policy. That's why you've got shootings up in the double digits, crime up in the double digits in our big cities. Look at New York. Look at Chicago. That's because of the movement to defund the police, wide open borders, and no cash bail. Specific policies that were changed that caused this spike in violence. People are not talking about it, but it's affecting all families.
Yeah, man, they have their talking points cocked back, ready to fire, right? So she said the rise of crime in America, and then she added 3 things that individually could be used as a metric for certain issues going on in certain communities, but not all 3 of them at once. Defund the police movement, wide open borders, and no cash bail. Now, as far as defund the police goes, if police can't do their job because people don't like their reckless power over life or death and want more accountability for rogue or abusive police officers or killer cops, then they don't have the skin thick enough required to be a cop. People tell me shit I can't do good all the time. Does that stop me from doing them? No. At least 3-4 people tell me every day, you can't drive, motherfucker. But does that stop me from driving? No. Motherfuckers tell me I can't dance. Does that stop me from dancing? Nah, I cut a jig with the best of them. But see, y'all notice white people act like an attack on the police. Now, it's not really an attack, but this is how they frame it. You know what I mean? They act like an attack on the police is an attack on them. See, we're sitting here like, yeah, but I mean, don't y'all want it to get better? I mean, no. Better for who? We're petitioning for justice. So if Black people are petitioning for justice, which means we're asking to be treated fairly and the same as white people, that means white people and rich people will start being treated the same as us. Do you get it? That means they'll start being stopped and ticketed for the same shit we do. That means more arrests. That means more tickets for them. Yeah, like, no. They like, no. Lock up the Blacks and the Latinos and all of that. Not us. We white. No, fairness and justice would mean that they would start to be treated the same as us. And would you petition for that? I think not. So that's the angle most white people see this from. You know, justice for Black people be, I'm gonna start getting pulled over more. I'm gonna be ticketed more. I might be arrested more. The shit that I usually get away with because I'm white, now that everything trying to be fair and balanced, now I'm gonna stop getting warnings and get taken to jail. Look at it from both sides, man.
Yeah, Maria, it's frightening, I think, to a number of us out here that either see these events taking place, read about them, as Dagan has mentioned. I think in this situation, I think we would all agree that a proper investigation and the revealing of the facts, as Dagan said, is good. It's good to have accountability on the facts. Unfortunately, he is such a figure, with a number of followers. You don't know why you would want to fuel the situations that you're referencing, Maria, across the country today.
Yeah.
It is very concerning, and I think it is really growing at an exponential rate that it should have all of us concerned and voice an opinion to, sort of slow this thing down and let's stop the conflict and figure out what's the appropriate approach to handle this.
Yeah, and no word from LeBron James about China. He's perfectly fine going and performing in China.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Now they want this nigga to talk about China. Look, LeBron, he misspoke. He jumped the gun. He made a mistake. That's all it is. Don't let mainstream media turn it into much more than that. I already see a bunch of people doing episodes on it, the conservative channels, and they acting like the sky is falling. Now, he could have made a better apology. I agree with that. But they keep harping on 50 million followers. 50 million followers. He got 50 million followers, yo. You understand that reach? And that's what the real issue is. You know what I mean? If you're a bum ass nigga, they don't give a fuck what you say, what you talk about. But if you got money and you say something, that's when they give a fuck. Not saying that that's how it pertains to LeBron in this situation. I'm just saying in general. So, yeah, he misspoke. He made a mistake. You know, he did exactly what he explained at the beginning of the video. You know, but it is what it is. But, and I'm going to talk to y'all about LeBron's boule status. Because we all know what that is. All right, let's have that Boule talk real quick. Now, as far as LeBron goes, see, we're dealing with these dudes. These dudes are speculative Masons. It's allegorical. They're not actual bricklayers. You know, these free and accepted fraternal orders for rich and influential people. Now, when you have these people, you have, you know, we're not going to go into the ranks and the degrees and 33 and a third up to the 45th, up to the sublime degrees. We're not going to go into that, you know. But when I say there's two types, there's the type that plots and schemes, coons and dreams, and fantasizes about buck dancing to get the status of gatekeeper. Right? There's those that know what it is and want the power that comes with it. All right? And then, you know, that would be like a Steve Harvey. you know, or a Roland Martin. These niggas do everything they can to be gatekeeper status, right? And then you got the ones with power and influence who get that or else lecture. You know what that or else lecture is, right? So LeBron is a or else because he's unlearned. He didn't go to college. You know, he's no part of any fraternity. You pick up that fraternity by going to college. This is another big reason why at first they wanted to force all these players that came straight from high school to go to college first. Because they wanted all these kids to go to college and get accepted into these fraternities. So by the time they all went into the NBA, they were all boule. Y'all understand? But LeBron being boule is all business associated. His access to billions, the fact that he has so much influence, he has honorary acceptance. So basically what LeBron did was get that or else conversation. So that or else conversation means, you know, he had to accept a handler, which was going to be in his benefit anyway. He had to accept a handler, a PR man that would basically tell him what to do and what not to do. Keep him alive. Because as soon as you go out here talking about this, talk about this, you're going to get laid down. So that's what that really means. LeBron is someone, a gatekeeper that basically had to accept it or else. It's the trade-off for his money and his power and his influence in order to keep his head on his shoulders. So when you see Boule and you look at Roland Martin and you see Boule and you see LeBron James, it's not the same type.
Really suck. You add a little 1-2 step and it's gone. Okay, we're going to get to the first story here. Everyone's been talking about this, and I know a lot of people saying, well, you can't really cover it because LeBron took down his tweet. Sorry, the king. LeBron James claimed, by the way, back in the day, before he tweeted yesterday, basically a call to violence, tweeted that he didn't support the violence of the Black Lives Matter riots. We covered it. Oh, well, that's nice. So let's go back to then.
I've never, in my 35 years, ever condoned violence.
4 score.
Never had.
And 7.
But I also know what's right.
Only black guys can do the
Lincoln. And I grew up in the inner city, in a black community, in what we call the hood or the ghetto, however you want to picture it.
Akron.
And I've seen a lot of counts firsthand of a lot of black people, being, I guess, racially profiled because of our color. But not one time have I ever said, let's act violent towards cops.
Until yesterday.
I just said that, what's going on in our community.
The coach bought me a Hummer and banged my mom.
And we fear for that. And we fear for our lives.
Yeah, that's what. And then what you didn't see is after that clip, he said, "I had my fingers crossed." Psych. Because yesterday he tweeted out, then removed it against the Columbus cop for, what is this girl's name? Is it KHIA?
I've heard KHIA more than
the Columbus cop who rightfully, justifiably, as a matter of fact, I would say requiredly, that's the word, shot KHIA BRYANT. I think it's someone said KHIA Brown, which is not correct. He posted this picture right here with this caption: "You're next."
Ominous.
Hashtag accountability. And he removed it. What's even funnier is afterwards he tweeted out like, "I am desperate for accountability." Yes, we are desperate for you to have for you to be accountable.
Yes.
Yeah. LeBron James. "I'm so damn tired of seeing black people killed by police. I took the tweet down because it's being used to create more hate." Huh. This isn't about one officer. It's about the entire system, and they always use our words to create more racism. So they use your racially divisive words to create more racism. "I am so desperate for more accountability." Well, yeah. Yeah, I think all of us are.
I think we all would like to see you not tweet out stuff like that either is a call to violence to a police officer who saved a black woman's life, by the way, or you're telling every other person out there, cops are going to shoot you next. Time is running out.
Right.
That is not what he said. Fucktard. Everybody keeps saying that he's inciting violence. No, you're next, meaning what happened to Derek Chauvin? So he's saying you're next as far as you're the next to get prosecuted and go to jail. That's all he was insinuating, people. Cut it out.
Either way,
you know what is good?
There really is a terrible Paul Blarty picture, though, that they found of him.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like he'd accidentally shoot a lot of people, not just on color.
And then segue off a cliff.
Yeah, just
I couldn't get it to stop.
You look like you could trick him by painting a tunnel on a wall and you go through it, and then he just segues in. Oh, shit.
He still doesn't hit the paint part, though.
Right next to it. I always miss.
So, yeah, we're talking about accountability. And this is the issue. It's not just hypocrisy. It's virtue signaling at the cost of innocent people. That's the issue that we have with LeBron James. What do I mean by that? Remember he refused to comment on the Hong Kong protests?
Yeah.
Right. This is the issue. He claimed that Rockets owner Daryl Morey, who tweeted support for the Hong Kong protests. So the whole NBA, because they're trying to get into the market of China, said, well, don't do anything with Hong Kong. These are people who, by the way, were largely, a lot of them, peacefully protesting because they actually want things like being able to, speak, read Bibles. And Daryl Morey tweeted support for the Hong Kong protest. Yeah. And then LeBron didn't just remain silent, which would be cowardly, but he's a basketball player. I repeat myself. Foul. Yeah, okay. Go play hockey you won't. Yeah. They go through the season and they don't even replace their teeth.
Yeah.
Because they know they're just going to get knocked out again. He touched my wrist. I don't know what it means in basketball. He's a really physical player. No one is allowed to get physical.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
You can kind of bang around down on the paint, but there's a foul called.
There are more injuries in basketball than in their sport. Well, yeah, because it's a sport. So the Houston Rockets owner tweeted about the Hong Kong protests, and then LeBron James, not only being a coward silent, he spoke out against people who were supporting the Hong Kong people.
I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand. So many people could have been harmed, not only financially, but physically, emotionally, spiritually. So
spiritually?
Just be careful what we tweet and we say. We do have freedom of speech, but there can be a lot of negative that comes with that too.
Well, actually, the point is they don't have freedom of speech. That's kind of why they're protesting. And that's kind of why they need support. You're saying we have freedom of speech, but there are consequences. Well, hold on. You're silencing freedom of speech. You're talking about abuses of the system here in the United States. We're talking about by the way, this also ties into the World Health Organization, China refusing to acknowledge even Taiwan at all.
Yeah.
I mean, just let's be honest. When people want us to constantly fear Russia, which is something that people run with, this collusion, of course, none of that happened. China is not just the biggest adversary of the United States right now, the biggest adversary of the free world and their own people. I use the term Chi-Coms. You know why Chi-Coms? Because it's not racist. Because it's the Chinese Communist Party. And you know what? No one hurts the Chinese people more than the filthy damn Chi-Coms.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And I love how he led off there with not only financially, this is really all about money, guys, but hey, they can also be hurt. Now, God, I have to list 5 ways now. Let's include spiritually because that sounds good.
It's like, I don't think athletes should talk, and that includes Gerald.
Yeah. Damn you, Dave. Basically.
basically. Y'all know since Trump been ousted out of office, the right wing doesn't have much to talk about. But you know, LeBron just gave him something, right?
What's up, Instagram? I wanted to do this quick live. So a lot of people have been reaching out with me, especially over the last 2 weeks, I think, because they are starting to realize, it's taken a lot of years for people to realize that there is something to what I am saying about the fact that the media is trying to get Black America to celebrate degeneracy. And they are trying to do this by using various athletes and artists and glorifying them and getting them to say statements that direct Black people into a nefarious direction. So
I'll give you partial truth on that, Candace. Yeah, everything is leading Black people into the abyss. Everything in this country was geared towards leading Black people into the abyss. But I see the little thing right there that you're trying to do, and I know I hear a dog whistle when I know a dog whistle when I hear it. So it's like that whole talk about they're trying to get Black people to celebrate degeneracy. So basically, George Floyd was a dope head that deserved what he got. And because we feel any empathy for him, then that means we condone his lifestyle and everything he did. Ha ha ha. Good try, bitch, but no cigar. You know, that's the same way white people determine whether or not they respect Black people. Well, do we got some money and some prestige? Well, then shit, I empathize for him. He doing something. But he poor, he broke, he from what side of town? Fuck that nigga. And no, I'm not supporting him and what he did and all of the bullshit. It is what it is, man. What happened, what happened. What happened was supposed to happen. Or it wouldn't have happened, if you want to call it fate.
this situation today with KHIA Bryant, if that's how you say her name, KHIA Bryant, the 16-year-old who was in the process of trying to stab another Black woman to death and got shot and killed by police officers who saved the life of the Black girl who she was trying to kill, okay? She was trying to kill her. That is what you do. That is what you are trying to accomplish when you take a knife and you try to stab someone repeatedly. You are trying to commit murder, okay? This woman, young lady, if you'd like to call her, got stopped in the middle of a crime, in the middle of an attempt at murdering someone by a heroic police officer who shot and killed her before she could finish the act. In a sane society, every single person in the world would say, thank God that officer was there to stop the crime from happening. But we don't live in the same society because now the goal in this insane society is to make people believe that we have to fight to protect our criminals, that we have to fight to allow our criminals to live through every situation, no matter what they are doing, even if they are trying to kill someone, okay? So Jacob Blake, who admitted that he had a knife,
See, that's the shit with her. She two-faced. Well, once she'll make a point. Then right after she make a point, just blow that shit the fuck up. To kingdom come. You know. So back to the narrative. Jacob Blake had a knife in his car. He had a knife in his car. But did Jacob Blake admit that he was going to try to use the knife on 3 armed officers? Who runs to get a knife to go fight 3 cops? So just because the man had a knife in his car, he deserved to be shot in the back? I admit he was stupid. It was a dumb move. But yeah, this bitch is a snake.
Now a hero and has his name put on the back of the helmet of the New Orleans Saints because he was shot and paralyzed by police officers, despite the fact that a Black woman was victimized by him, despite the fact that a Black woman had called the police on him because he was visiting her, he wasn't supposed to, despite the fact that a Black woman had alleged that he had digitally raped her, okay? He was put on the back of an NFL helmet. Now you have KHIA Bryant. Again, I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right. I really don't care how I'm saying her name. I'm going to be honest with you. Now you have KHIA Bryant, a 16-year-old.
Now, see, all the disrespect is uncalled for, right? Hold on. Yeah, all the disrespect is uncalled for, Candace. Because even when doing my episode yesterday, whether or not her shooting was justified, I said yes, it was justified. But I took into account that this young lady was in foster care, that she seemed to have some sort of behavioral issues. So I was respectful about it. I'm not just, I understand there's different degrees of separation with shit. Everybody just ain't a criminal for criminal's sake. And when you stop differentiating between that, the difference of what's what, you just all political now, bitch.
Bryant, a 16-year-old who almost killed someone, and LeBron James decides to post a picture of the heroic police officer and say, "You're next," on his Twitter. I took a second. I thought to myself, okay, before I react to this, maybe he's making a mistake because he doesn't know all the details. Because as we know, the media lies and pretends that person is a good human being. KHIA Bryant's mother came out, even though KHIA was a foster child, and she said, oh, she was about peace, something along those lines, that her daughter was really a peacemaker at the end of the day. I have never seen a peacemaker try to stab someone to death with a knife, but okay, KHIA Bryant's mom, we'll believe you on this one.
See, the condescending bullshit is unnecessary. I've never seen a peacemaker with a knife in their hand. Well, you show me a peacemaker that's going through some type of emotional trauma, has some type of behavioral issues, and you put them under certain pressures. I'm quite sure someone that you've never seen try to use a knife on someone before will try for their first and only time, try to use a knife on someone. And as far as Candace goes, I'm done with Candace because all I'm doing is promoting her propaganda. The bitch speaks in half truths. She know what she doing. Like I said, you know what I mean? She reports it from one side and one side only. But for the time being, Bunker, I'm out. Y'all leave y'all comments. Told you before, tread lightly in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. Don't flag my shit.
Maybe LeBron James got deluded by that quote and thought it was real, and he reacted because he deleted the tweet. So I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. But no, he has now followed up on the tweet and essentially said he only deleted it because he didn't want it to be taken out of context. And really, he's hopeful that KHIA Bryant gets justice. That
LeBron made a mistake. It was a messy mistake. Get in touch with him and his handlers. Tell him to apologize to the police officer. Even if you want a beer summit powwow like Obama did. But all this hyperbolic, he needs all his sponsors and he should be suspended and banned from the league. And this is going to create even more racial hatred. Get your money, Candace.
Stupid leprechaun looking bitch.